Ain't easy, but it's almost over.
Zoom with me is a brand new artist. We broke him as a hot hit not so long ago, and we love him. Love him. His name is Tome, also known as Conrad, but for now we'll stick to Tome because, you know, the art we've got to do what the artist wants. And I feel like Tome is the name. I want to get into that as well because, as you can see, I'm a nerd. But tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from? Where do you hail from? And what did you do before music?
Well, I'm a Cape Town local, actually born up the West Coast in a little town called Freedomburg, which I don't talk about much because I see myself as a Capie. And I grew up in a family that was surrounded by music. I have memories of sitting on the weekend, scratching out my mom and dad's records, putting them on this little turntable and plugging in earphones and just listening. So music's been there my whole life. I was a choir boy in junior school. And then it sort of faded away. I think a rebellious teenager, don't want to be in a choir in high school, but did participate in some musicals in high school. And then found myself in the electrical trade and have been in that industry or in this industry ever since. And like we were chatting earlier, at the tender age of 45, decided, hey, let's dip my toe into music. Step out of the shower and in front of a microphone. And I can't explain to you how intimidating that microphone was when I went to record. I wouldn't have thought that at my age, something mechanical could have intimidated me. But sorry to quote a cliche now, but I conquered. And now I'm chatting with Dany, and it's awesome.
Okay, let's talk about that. So how does one go from doing contracting, sales, electrical work into what is the segue like? Because obviously there's got to be like a lot of back and forth thing with your family or the people around you. I think I should, maybe I shouldn't. I'm thinking about it. Are they supportive? Are they not supportive? And then the way forward from there, like there is money required, obviously, for a studio.
So no one knew. None of my family knew.
Wow.
Kept it a secret. As I'm sure you're aware, my brother passed away last year from cancer. And it stirred something inside of me that I just couldn't ignore anymore. And I had this conviction in my heart that something good has to come out of something bad. Humans, I think, tend to sort of wallow a bit in grief. And I understand that. I'm not saying anything bad about that, but I try to channel my grief into something positive. So I'm very fortunate. I'm friends with Neil Benjamin, and I reached out to him at the beginning of this year, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to honor my late brother. And my intention was to actually create a gift for my family and to hand it back to my family and say, here we go. Here's something that hopefully you can listen to and remember Daniel with. And Neil just got on board from the get-go. And I said to him, Neil, I'll pay my way. I don't want a handout. So yeah, it cost money. But it's amazing what you can do with limited resources.
Yeah.
So Neil introduced me to Lynn Paulson Blameyer. We met up at her place. We sort of looked at the original version of the song and sort of decided, well, we wanted to feel South African and different. And we literally recorded the song in Lynn's lounge. So I didn't go into a studio. I didn't have to spend that much money because that was outside of my budget. So I think it's the best money I've ever spent. It has grown into something that wasn't my original intention.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a whirlwind. But yeah, it's Neil has the saying, he says, creating music is like creating magic.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of a more apt saying or quote, because literally a little magic bug has bit and I just want to create more. So yeah.
This is a very inspirational story, I have to tell you. And we were talking a little bit before we started this recording about these milestones that we have, right? That we've been conditioned to believe. At this age, you've got to be this. At this age, you've got to be that. By 45, you're supposed to have your together. You're supposed to be in the career path with the medical aid and the family and the dog and the SUV, and you're supposed to just now, it's done. This is your life, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you kind of went, no.
So I'm the salmon, right? I'm swimming against the stream. Yeah, I was chatting with someone else last week, and they were asking a similar sort of question, and I think I needed to hit a certain maturity level before I could actually take this on. I think if I were younger, I wouldn't be able to cope with with everything that comes with this. There's lots of interviews, and I mean, my second or third interview was on SABC TV live. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I don't have a coach, and I just had to wing it. I wouldn't have been able to have done that if I were younger, I think. Those milestones, they are so auto-tuned into us, like we were chatting. Primary school, get through, must pass by this age. High school, get through, must pass by that age. With these grades, getting to university, study, get the job, get the medical, get the car, get the house. Oi, man, we're all like little metronomes just ticking to a tune.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where it's like, well, I want to do something that I find to bring me joy. And I use the word joy specifically because I don't want to call it happiness, because I can find happiness in many things. But this brings me joy, being able to express my emotions, how I feel, my experiences, because a lot of what's coming is based on my experiences in life. And just to touch one person, really, I know it sounds so cliched, but just to touch one person. I had an experience after an interview with Damien Schmidt, and he played the song, and I stayed on to listen. And at the end of the song, he played a voice note, and it was, I really wish I remember the guy's name, but it was a guy that called in and said, I've lost 2 family members in the last month.
Yeah.
And you have no idea how much this song speaks to me and how much I needed to hear some encouragement. And that just, actually made me sit in my car and just cry a little bit, because someone has understood it, someone has felt it, someone connected with it, and have found some sort of comfort in it. And I'd really like to keep replicating that. That's somehow. Not all the songs will be like Conquer.
Yeah.
But just, I find modern music, I know you're a DJ, so please just run with me here. But modern music so often is empty. It's all about creating a chart-topping hit and being number one. And there's a place for that. There's a place for that. I'm hopefully over time going to speak differently and create meaningful songs that have a story.
Yeah.
Because to me, a song is about a story. It takes you on a journey.
And it's about connection, right? People are going to connect with the music. Someone from somewhere is going to take something from your music. It's impossible that it's not going to happen. Someone is going through something that you're going through right now, and this is the most beautiful thing. And we all forget that we're so interconnected, and inherently our struggles are all of our struggles, and we live in these isolated little bubbles. that when a song like Consequences comes out, and I think I find it so beautiful how the artist, the creator, the magician, um, doesn't realize what it's going to be until it is. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, they're always overwhelmed by the response. And yet we sit here and we go, yeah, that's going to resonate. You know, you just know. And then when it does, it's a beautiful thing. Before we talk about Consequences, why the name Tome?
Tome. So you're a good bookie there.
A little bit of a reader.
Yeah. So you would know what a tome is.
Mhm.
It's a big book. Um, I thought long and hard about this one because I really initially didn't want to go out as Conrad Miller. Um, I really wanted to have an alter ego as something else.
It's necessary.
And the tome to me made sense because I'm writing the first page of my tome. I'm writing the first page of my musical journey. And every new song is just an extra page to go in. And hopefully one day I do land up with a tome, a nice big thick book or a collection of books, and something that's left behind for posterity, for the future, for someone to stumble across 20 years from now and go, wow, I get that. I get that.
Okay, so the first page has been written. Consequences is the first page,
Conquer.
I think. Conquer.
Will conquer.
Talk to me about this song. Is it part of an EP? Is it part of an album? I'm of the age group that we still had albums. EPs are new for me, so I'm still learning about how many and what and how. So
Hey,
is it part of an EP, an album? Are we looking forward to something?
so I'm still of the generation where I buy CDs, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Like they're hard to find nowadays. They really are hard to find nowadays. Like I own this music, it's mine.
It's mine. I want to hold it. Yes, yes. It's why there's a Kindle in the book cupboard, and I've never used it. It was a gift, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
No.
want paperback or
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
That's like fun. With the speed at which this is gone, like I said, my initial intention was a gift. It was one song. So I had no real initial thoughts of creating more. I was going to create this song, and then that was it. However, I can say I am currently working on original songs.
Yay.
So there is more to come. I've met up with a great young guy, so he's helping plot out the chords and the structure, and hopefully in the next, I don't want to put a timeline on it, but in the very near future there will be a new song, and there will be more to come after that. I definitely am not going to stop here with one or two songs. I would like to get to a point where I can put an album together, not just release EPs and singles.
Oh,
I know that's the modern
Thank
way.
you.
People
Thank
want
you.
to just do singles and then have a one-hit wonder and then go retire. And I'm like, oh, okay, Kif, that's rad if that's your path. But
Yeah.
like I said, my first page in my tome, there must be a lot more in order for me to live up to that name. So yeah, there's more coming then.
Okay, good. Thank you. And thank you for keeping an eye out for us elder millennials. You would like an album, like an album, because it's
I
what
can't
we
promise that will
remember.
go to a CD, but yeah, there will be something you can at
Oh,
least
no.
listen.
Look, the elder millennials, we've embraced Spotify. We can Spotify. We can Apple Music. I mean, Apple Music, not so much. I have the Apple things, but I don't understand how it works. So Spotify, we do Spotify,
Okay.
and we know how to find the things on the Spotify. So as long as your album is on the Spotify, we're fine.
Cool. It's there. So you're happy to go look.
Okay, so talk to us about the song. We broke it as a hot hit, Conquer,
Thank you.
and it did really, really well.
Will conquer.
I stumbled across the artist Rivers four and a bit years ago. I have managed to figure out iTunes. So I was going through iTunes, and it has this, you might also like, little feature at the bottom of artists. And there was this name, and it was spelled so differently, Rivvrs. So I'm like, well, that's interesting. And I clicked on it, and Conquer wasn't the first song I listened to. I think the first one I listened to was I Will Follow. But he just had this beautiful husky voice, this really nice American folky sound to his music. And I was just like, oh, this is rad. This is rad. I can listen to this. So very quickly downloaded like everything he had. Yes, shush, Ducky. And and I came across Conquer, and it stood out from most of the other songs. And I listened to it, and I could feel his emotion in the song. So I went and researched the song a bit, and I encourage people to actually go research why the original song was written. And I think you'll be quite moved. Little did I know, 4 odd years later, the song would really come into its own in terms of the message, what it says, what it means to me. And when I observed my brother battle with his disease, he knew from the start he wasn't going to win. He never told us that, but he knew from the start he wasn't going to win. And he quietly, without complaining, without saying, why is this happening to me, prepared himself and got everything in order. And that was inspirational, because so often people will once again fall into self-pity.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, you've been handed this card, and it's unfair. It is completely unfair. At 40 years old, he was super healthy, was a CrossFitter. He ran 20 kilometers on the weekend. Nothing to indicate that this would happen. And you know, he had over time said to me, why are you not singing? Why aren't you actually doing something? You have a talent. And I was like, yeah, I've got kids. I can't. I need a stable income. Or, no, man, it's the wrong time. It's not going to work. And I tattooed my arm with all of the excuses I could find. And death, or the finality of death, makes you sit up, and makes you reconsider and really look at everything. And you go, damn it, you were right. Damn it. And I wish I had done it sooner, but I'm not going to live with that regret. I do wish I'd done it sooner, but he sees it, he hears it, he's in the song. When I sing it, he's there. He's there. So yeah, I hope that made sense.
No, it does. It does. In the last year, I think so many of us have lost so many people. I think in my family, we lost 8 people in the first 3 months of COVID, and that on the back of losing both grandparents in 1 year. Yeah. So I think everyone knows at this point what it feels like to lose someone. I think as much as we have become almost numb towards it, because it's just every time you open Facebook at the moment, there is someone else, and it's someone that you know now, right? It's not, oh, I heard someone's aunt from somewhere. It's now, oh, wow. Oh, there's another Facebook person that's page is now going to give memory. Yeah. And I think we forget that whatever your belief system is, they're not gone. Energy doesn't just dissipate. I mean, it's always here, it's always flowing, it's always moving, and it flows through and within and I think through the magic that you create, whatever that is. Whether that's songwriting, whether that's painting, drawing, gardening, cooking, baking for your family, all of those things connect you with the people wherever they may be. And I think that this is such an important message to remember, that you're not alone. No matter how alone you possibly could feel, you are never truly 100% alone. And that's both absolutely horrible because sometimes we need to just be alone, but it's also inherently beautiful. And I think your music reminds us that we're all interconnected, we're not alone. and that it's never ever too late. So thank
No, it's
you,
not.
Tome. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Yakaranda. I woke up to some really great news on Monday that I'm 19 on your chart out of the top
Well,
20.
welcome to the
I'm like,
family. We love you.
good to be here. But yeah, I just want to touch on that energy part. I had experiences after my brother passed that I cannot explain.
Mm.
I cannot explain them. And I don't think I'm comfortable yet to actually tell anybody what I experienced. But there were definitive things that happened
Yeah.
that just drove the message: do it, do it, do it. So that energy doesn't dissipate. It's around us all the time, and we need to, the African culture speaks of the elders
Ancestors.
and ancestors, and there's power in that.
Oh, for sure.
There is power in that, and they are definitely around and about. And every once in a while, I'll get this feeling, or I will smell something, and it's like he's standing next to me. And yeah, we need to, like you said, I don't care what your religion is, I don't care what your creed is, I don't care where you come from. Just know that they don't ever really leave us.
Yeah. Honor your ancestors. It's a big thing in our house. I come from a mixed race family. So honoring ancestors is a very big deal. And you never disrespect them and you always honor them because they're the ones that stand behind you when you go into a boardroom or get in your car or all of those things. And I think we forget that they're still there sometimes. So every now and then, it may look like I'm talking to the fridge, but I'm actually asking my grandmother what goes in the cookies because I cannot remember and you didn't write it down, Nan.
Just not
So
that green button, and we'll stay away from that. Okay.
my Nan would have loved the green stuff in the cookies. I'm just
The good
sorry.
man.
I'm telling them your stories. No, she was surpassed from cancer, and my brother used to he liked to grow a little bit of a tomato bush every now and then in her garden in particular because no one would look there, and
Yeah.
so his tomatoes grew phenomenally well because my grandmother was a gardener. But then also we were drinking tea and doing all of the things just to help with the symptoms of the treatment. So she would have definitely been pleased with a little bit of the green in a cookie.
Good man.
Good, Nan. Okay, Tome, where do we follow you? How do we watch your eyes?
You can find me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Tome Creative. I'm on Instagram, tome.creative. Probably more active on Facebook than on Instagram. So that's my iTunes. Instagram and I, we dish, dish. I'm also, you can find me on all the streaming services. So you'll get me on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, things called Deezer and Tidal, which I have no cooking clue what that is. So there we go. There's my age. And if you want to watch the video, just go onto YouTube and look up Tome Conquer. You'll find the video. Yeah, please just share the message.
Share, share, share. Tome, thank you. This has been really, really lovely. I've loved talking to you. I'm looking forward to you climbing those charts. Hopefully, number one very, very soon. And you did promise new music, so pinky promise.
Thank you, sweetie. Done.